Y'all get on in here. Get on in here. I was absolutely not ready. Won't ready. Going off. Flipping out over this Netflix series. Netflix be doing the thing. They have lately been really doing the thing. Let's talk about The Polygamist on Netflix. The show y'all told me to watch. While y'all, we take this little break and I give my little introduction, let me look up the lady's name that sent this to me and told me, Auntie, you have got to watch this. Are y'all ready to get into it? Let's do it. A sweet old auntie. Thank you, subscribers. Y'all, when I tell y'all that all night, all day, I stayed up watching this. Okay. Sugar said I'm binge watching now, been watching all night. Sugar, you may want to come back, but I know you want to be downtown in the comment section. I want to give a shout out to her name is Mystics Phoenix on Instagram. She hit me up and told me that I needed to watch this show. And I was like, okay. So I went and watched it because y'all know I take all recommendations in my inbox on Instagram. And I tried to watch it and I could not get past 5 minutes of it at first. But then, honey, I saw it somewhere. I can't remember where it was. And I was like, I have got to go back and look at this show. When I tell y'all we're going to be here for a minute, we're going to be here for a minute. So if you driving in your car, turn it on. If you sitting back and having a nice little matcha or hot tea or whatever you drinking or honey, listen to this then because we going to be here for a little bit. Yeah, we are. Hey, Tamika. Let me tell y'all something. This show was off the hook. It is 22 episodes. Each episode lasting around 20-30 minutes. And it is riveting. It is very good. I wanted to give some background on this, right? I did take some notes just so I can kind of gather myself. I didn't take notes about the show. I just kind of put like a okay, come back, Tamika. I wrote like a table of contents sort of. But let me just make sure that I give homage to this young lady and where this came from. So this Netflix series is based on a novel. They said her name is Sue Nathi, I think. She is Zimbabwean writer. Zimbabwe, let me just say that, author. The book was first published in 2012, long before Netflix adopted it into the 2026 South African series. The novel reportedly struggled to find a publisher at first and was eventually self-published before becoming successful more than a decade later. Netflix turned it into a 22-episode drama. Now, I want you all to know that this is not based on a true story, although you may know some mofos that's living like this. Okay. You just might know some mofos that's living like this, but this is not a true story, okay? What else did I write down? Okay, so the novel follows Jonas Gomora, a wealthy and powerful businessman who carefully constructed life, begins collapsing when the women in his life discover some things about him. Okay. The Polygamist is actually somewhat ironic. The story is not celebrating traditional open polygamy where everyone knows the arrangements. Instead, it's about a man using secrecy, manipulation, and lies to maintain multiple relationships simultaneously. Okay. Now, I want to give you so of the book versus the Netflix series so you can understand. The novel is told largely through the perspective of the women. Readers spend a lot of time inside their thoughts and their emotions, and they focus on why they stayed, why they believed, how they justified Jonah's behavior, and the emotional cost of loving him. While the Netflix series um, focuses more on cliffhangers, it's more dramatic reveals, more revenge plots, bigger confrontation, and more sensational twist. And the series places Joyce at the center of much of the action and heightens several storylines for the television. Okay. They say that the reason why her book survived 13 years is because at its core, it's about power, betrayal, secrets, hidden children, family legacy, female survival, and generational trauma and accountability. Let's get into it. Shall we? Oh, freaking yes, we shall. So when we open up the first episode, it comes out with a pop. We are looking at Miss Joyce, honey. We are at a funeral. Yes, we are. We are at a funeral. And everybody in the funeral got their little black outfit on, paying homage to Jonas. Okay. Now, Miss Joyce comes in through the door, honey, and she is ready. She glides almost up to that casket. And when she gets to that casket, she leans over, honey, and said, you know, this did not, I'm paraphrasing. This did not have to turn out this way. I had so many wonderful plans. But you wanted to do your own thing. You wanted to live your life the way you wanted to live your life. You thought that you knew everything and you had it all planned out. But now look at you, laying in this casket, cold and dead. You mother. When I tell you I hollered, I hollered. Girlfriend goes back and sits in her seat, and then we go back over their lives. We go back and we see what in the world is going on downtown with the polygamist child Jonas. Now, at the beginning, we don't understand and we don't know that he is a polygamist. Okay. We don't have a clue about it. We know that that's what the title is. Are in great anticipation of what is going to happen, right? But we don't know. So as we, see her, when we see her next, let me y'all. When we see her next, which one was first? I gotta think of which one was first. When we see her first, she is talking with a company that she is supposed to be working for. So she is a content creator. And of course, her content is based around fashion, products, and her relationship with her husband. And so she is, in a meeting with the bees all, and they're basically telling her, there's a rumor downtown on the street that you got some issues that's going on with you and your husband. And she was like, really? Like, what's going on? Okay, because the word is out there on the curb about what's going on. Now, we don't know how far it is on the curb, but we know it's on the curb. So she is, talking to them, smooth talking to them and telling them, honey, I don't know where you getting these rumors and stuff for my relationship with my husband. It couldn't be better. Matter of fact, we're about to celebrate our 20th anniversary, sweetie pie. So I don't know what you talking about, right? So the lady is like, oh, okay, really? And she's like, yeah. And you know what? I'm gonna send you an invite. I'm gonna make sure you get an invite to the the celebration and everything. And so the lady is looking at her skeptical, right? Because you know how it is in communities and stuff like that. The word be out there in the street. So the words are in the street already. So she is, doing what she do with the whoop whoop and the boop boop boop. And hold on, y'all. Hold on a second. I just remember something. Okay. Okay, we good. Okay, we good. So the word is, like I said, is out there on the curb, and she has to dispel this because she is making a whole lot of money. Her and her husband are making a lot of money off of content. And you all see some of these people who are, got millions of followers and stuff like that and really growing. Honey, they make a lot of money off of sponsors and doing content for different companies and stuff. And so, she leaves up out of there. We see her go to a beautiful mansion. Look like it's sitting back in the woods. And it's just absolutely beautiful. And so, she's going in there to go and get her husband, Mr. Jonas. So let me bring these people up too while I'm talking. So she's going in to go and visit Jonas. And Jonas is in there with his new boo. Okay? A new boo. Matipa. Matipa and Jonas got a house together, but Joyce, of course, is the wife. She is the little whore who's living in the household with her husband. So when she walks up there, she wants to talk to Jonas about, this opportunity that they have and that he is expected to play his role in order for them to keep the coin that they're making. And so after she gets there and everything, of course Matipa comes up out of the door. And Matipa is like, what's going on? So, of course, she wants to throw her shade at Matipa, call all kinds of horrors, and just tear the girl down. And so, Jonas tells her to go in, let me go ahead and handle it. So Jonas is basically telling her, I want a divorce from you. And she's like, okay, you ain't get no divorce. We're going to do this thing. She gives him the invitation that she's already had made up, and for them to do this 20th year anniversary. And so, but he wants to get a divorce from her because he is not liking what is going on in their relationship, and plus he got a new boo. And so we like, okay, he's a wealthy businessman, he got it going on and all of that kind of stuff. But although he's in this relationship with Matipa, Joyce is his public wife. That's the wife who got the paper, who was out there on the streets, right? Now, the thing that the two of them go back and forth for, Joyce and Jonas, is the fact that she built that empire that he has, right? And but she's mad that he's involved with Matipa. So he, basically tries to serve her with some divorce paper later on and everything. And, she goes to his office and everything, and she goes off on him about these divorce papers because at the same time, she's got this 20th anniversary. Honey, she and her mama got all of these people coming over to the house. Okay, Mama Grace. They got these people coming over to the house, right, with the finest of finest. And she, she's looking at the outfits. She's got to keep up appearances. She can't, afford for all of this mess to fall on her and fall in her lap and fall out of her lap. And she certainly doesn't want anybody to know that he's in a relationship with Matipa. at all. She has a lot at stake. Her reputation is at stake. She knows that she's losing it. Her mother really wants her to get out of the relationship with him because he's so abusive and he's a womanizer, right? And so the mother is like, you need to do what you need to do in order to get rid of him. But this is causing problems. So Joyce blames Matipa for destroying their marriage, but Matipa isn't destroying their marriage. Her husband is destroying her marriage. But she is one of those type of women that doesn't want to see the forest from the freaking trees. Matipa thinks that Joyce refuses to accept reality because she is the new thing on the block. And this rivalry between the two of them is freaking destructive. And I mean, when I say destructive, I'm talking about destructive. And the conflict starts basically affect this Jonas business. Okay. So they got alliances. They make business decisions that are affecting their personal relationships. And Matipa gains influence within the company. Now, as we're looking at this, we see that Joyce. Okay, so let me introduce Matipa. So Jonas got a brother who is his everything man. He runs interference. He helps him runs the business, all that kind of stuff, right? And his name is Magesh. And Magesh comes off as a sweetheart, like a sweetheart. And he is married to Essie. Now remember this. Remember this. Magesh is married to Essie and got kids by her. This is what we being introduced to. She has a son named Freedom and her daughter named Sarah. Don't forget it. So Magesh brings Matipa to the job. She is coming in for her interview and she's afraid that, she's not going to get the job. And he's like, look, you got the job, right? Because basically he's a running man and not I don't want to say the face of the business, but he's the muscle behind the business. And this is someone that he is dating. So when we first see it, we're like, okay, Magesh is a cheater because he is with Essie. So after she gets the job, right? She walks up to the receptionist. I don't know if she's been there a week, 2 weeks. I don't know how long she's been there. But she walks up to the receptionist because she wants to have a conversation with Jonas. She has some information that she needs to give him. And so the girl is like, look, he's busy. And she was like, he really needs to see this. And the girl was like, well, no. And so she was, trying to be shady out her mouth. And she was like, so then, so what's the purpose of you being here? And the girl said to keep hoes like from getting to Jonas. So I'm like, okay, so she doesn't get in through her. But she scurries around her, ducks and dodges the girl, and makes it back to Jonas' office. She gets to Jonas' office, and he is absolutely a womanizer. He has an insatiable appetite for women. Like, that's on period. Okay? That's on period. So they get to the she gets in the office with him. She says that she's got this envelope. He's looking at her from head to toe. Now, mind you, she got a body that's just like a perfect 10. She got the breast kiss. She got the round booty. Like, she's just appetizing. So she's supposed to be leaving out the office. She takes the envelope and she puts it on the desk just enough for it to fall off. And then she says, oh my goodness. She goes down, she picks it up right, and she shows him all of that booty. And he is smitten. The next thing you know, honey, she is back in there and she sleeps with him. Now, mind you, she was dating Magesh, which I didn't like her for doing that because it wasn't nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's not something you do to the man brother. But Jonas did not care. And so now we're looking and saying, okay, so this is a pattern of things. So anyway, she ends up getting with him. She's in the house with him now. She's doing what she's doing now. She feels like she's in competition with Joyce, who is the wife. Okay. And so all of this stuff is falling down on Joyce. Like I said, she is looking at, and wedding dresses or, just outfits for her little upcoming 20th anniversary. He done already filed on her. She done went down to the job, acted a fool and everything, right? He called security on her, told her she need to get her ass out of there. So she's feeling like everything's falling apart because they got a whole lot of money on the line, right? And so she don't like the fact that all of this stuff is on the line. And I don't blame her. I wouldn't want it either. So she finds out that Matipa and Jonas are planning a trip. But this trip is going to interfere because he's leaving either the day before or the day of this anniversary party she's supposed to be. So she ends up going to the house. I don't know if it was her intention to do what she did, but she went over there. They were upstairs in the bathtub, like knocking boots, right? And basically she can, kind of hear what's going on because they loud. They're in the house by themselves. And she sees the booking ticket and she sees their passports. She puts them in this like little wooden tray that's really meant for plants. She puts it in a tray and she lights it on fire. The fire starts getting really big on the table, so she throws it across the room. It lights up the cotton freaking curtains, and the house is on fire. The house is on fire. So of course she gonna have to go ahead and do her some jail time because of course Matipa is like, no, she gonna have to mm-mm. So we see now. Let me get my pictures up because I like to have my little illustrations so y'all can keep up. So we now see Matipa in jail. Joyce in jail. While Joyce is in jail, she meets this young lady. This her little cellmate. And they just kicking the bobo because Joyce has no fear that she's going to get out of jail. She just don't know how. Child, she's talking to the lady in the jail. And they're sharing their life stories. Joyce, of course, is not telling all the nitty gritty, but her and this girl make an instant connection with one another. The girl was telling her story and was talking about how she was involved with this man and she was all in love with him and everything. And the next thing you know, he gave her HIV. And so, of course, this is not Joyce's life, but Joyce is intrigued and concerned about the woman. Now, mind you, Joyce has endless resources because she is still legally married to Jonas, but she's having a problem with it. And so she gets bailed out and she's back at home. She signs the divorce papers that Jonas gave her, and all of a sudden, like that, the whole script's changed. Now he wants to be with her. Like, as soon as she signed the divorce papers, he flipped on her. Now he's interested. He wants his marriage to stay together, knick-knack, paddywhack, and give a dog a bone. What a low-brow mofo. So anyway, she falls for it. The very thing her mama Grace had been telling her, leave this man alone, live your life. Now, what we did not get is backgrounds, right? We didn't get backgrounds on the mama life, but I would really be interested for this author, right, to write about Joyce's mother's background. I also would like to know about Jonah's mother's background to produce kids who go through this. So anyway, she gets back with him. They show a part in the series where she was pregnant and she was delivering a baby. Y'all, where did that baby go? Anyway, she had delivered a baby. He was at the hospital, but he was leaving the hospital and going to be with Matipa. And she carries this throughout the series. It doesn't come up until later on, but she carries this. So she's back with her husband. She wants life to be the way that she wants life to be. But then we started meeting Jonah's kids. So Jonas and Joyce had two kids, Minzy and Noom. I cannot pronounce her name. Mpume is the child's name. So we're gonna call her Poon. And they are struggling because they're living in this household with all of this mess that's going on. They are confused about the family breakdown and all of that. They begin questioning everything that they have believed about their father because they started seeing stuff. You can't hide stuff from children, but for so long. And both of them become disillusioned by Jonas's actions because, they think that, he's a great father and all of that. But then they see him sleeping with this other woman, and these kids are grown up and they're impressionable at this point. Okay. Now I'm going to show y'all this picture. Okay. That's Minzy. The one with the short hair is his daughter. Is it Impume? I can't think of what her name is. Pume. And then we have Sarah. Now, I'll get back to Sarah later on. Okay, just keep your eye on her because she's coming back. So the kids are really, struggling with this raggedy piece of a father that they have. He doesn't really have a relationship with his kids outside of the wifeicus. Okay, keep that in mind. So right now, they're going through a struggle. Things are getting better. He's wanting to do it to her all the time and all of this old stuff and knick-knack, paddywhack, and give a dog a bone. So now we go over to Miss Essie house. Okay? Miss Essie, of course, is married to who, y'all? Jonas' brother. So we go down to her house. She has a son by the name of Freedom. And she has a daughter by the name of Sarah. They feel excluded from Jonas's family. Now, the girls hang out together and stuff like that, right? They do what they do with the whoop and the boo. Sarah hangs out with Jonas's daughter. They cousins. So they hang out together, and Minzy hangs out with Freedom. Freedom, when we see him, he has an alcohol problem. He off the chain. And he came to the house when we were introduced to him. He came to his mother's house and he was drunk. And she was like, you're not going to sleep in here. Minzy is soft. He's a rich, soft boy, probably going to the best schools, right? He just soft. He's not familiar with girls, right? Because we watch him grow up throughout this series. But when we meet him, he is like sheltered and he doesn't have a great relationship with his father. There's an expectation that he do this and he do that. So he just basically a mama's boy. Joyce is the one that's taking care of him. Sarah is growing up in the street of hard knocks with her mother Essie and her brother, okay? And of course their daddy. She's a little bitter, a little angry, a little confused, a little out there. She wants to be recognized. Little Miss Sarah. But the daughter with the short hair, she's got her little friends over there. Her cousin hangs with her, Sarah, and they also hang with another young lady by the name of oh my God. Why do I know these people's names when I'm looking at it? Ladani, they're friends. Minzy likes Ladani. They hang out downtown to the mansion. Okay? They all hang out. They friends, cousins, family, the typical. Y'all, I'm about to bust. Y'all just don't know how this honey had my butt in the grip. When I tell you that I've been looking at this, even in my sleep, like with my eye like. Essie is raising these children basically on her own. It appears that Magesh is a deadbeat dad. But then eventually Sarah learns that Jonas is her father. Now, how did that happen? At the time, I didn't tie this together. But she realizes that although that's her daddy, she's hidden. It's taboo. She can't say anything about it. And Sarah, in my opinion, started having some straight up psychological issues from being denied. Now, they wanted to have a coming out party, but she wasn't allowed to have one. This was something that she really wanted to have. I think they call them concierge, something like that. She wanted to have that. And so now at this point, we realize that Jonas is a bigger asshole than we had expected. Because Jonas is not managing just one relationship with his sorriness. He's managing multiple relationships. And we're looking at Joyce and thinking Joyce got her together, but evidently she don't. Because this mofo is running circles around her. While she up there giving birth, he with another woman. So they get back together. We see her all happy and all of this kind of stuff. And, and so at this point, he dropped Matipa to be back with his original wife, Joyce. Now, Matipa is running around trying to get back with Jonas, and Jonas don't want to have nothing to do with Matipa. Y'all like how I'm flashing through these pictures? Joyce is happy about it because she got her man back and now she can secure her ads, her advertisement, and her content creation career while Jonas is back in the house telling her how much he loves her. So one night the two of them was together and child, she thought she was pregnant. But maybe I'm moving too fast. Let me go back to my notes. That's helping me regulate my. Yes. Different women know different versions of Jonas. But at the end of the day, Jonas ain't worth, he's worth a lot of money. But that's about it. Because after a while, all of the truth starts to unravel. Because Joyce, as I said earlier, is the public wife. She is the mother of Menzie and Poon. She helped to build the empire. But honey, later on, we find out, child, it's a lot going on. Okay, let me calm down. So Joyce is tired of the stuff that's going on with the ex-wife. I mean, with Matumi, but she is dogging her every time she gets an opportunity. Now, while Joyce is in the highlight of being reunited with her husband, she finds out that Natumi Matipa, auntie. She finds out Matipa is pregnant. But it ain't the way you think it is. Remember, I told you that Joyce was back with Jonas? Remember, I told you that they were having a wonderful relationship and she had a pregnancy scare. After her pregnancy scare, she thought she was pregnant. He came in while she still had the pregnancy test in her freaking hand. Now, mind you, she had to go back and backpedal and pussy pop because she remembered that when she got pregnant and had the last baby, that's when she found out that he was in a relationship with Matipa. Keep up, y'all. So she was like in fear of being pregnant by him. He came in, act like he was all supportive, looked at the pregnancy test, and it was negative. So Joyce, along with Mama Grace, was like, okay, you're going to have to do something to get this together. So Joyce goes to the doctor to go and have uh, um her tubes tied. Because she don't want to be pregnant again because everything's going so nice. She don't want to jeopardize that. She want to be able to hold on to her man. So she goes to the doctor's office. She's down to her surgical outfit. And, she is contemplating, do I want to do this or do I not? Meantime, Mama Grace is walking down the hallway, and Mama Grace sees who? Jonas. So Mama Grace is backpedaling back to the room. Mama Grace goes back to Joyce and was like, your husband is up here. So Joyce was like, what? The doctor comes in. He's like, okay, it's time for you to get your surgery. She said, no, I changed my mind. But then she wondering what the f- is he doing up here in the OBGYN side of the hospital? Well, guess why he was in a hospital? He was in a hospital because his little slinger thing had just gave birth to twin girls. Joyce lost her mind. She lost her mind. But Jonas, being the dog that he is, did not give a flying freak about her either. He won't over there helping her take care of the kids. He wasn't doing nothing. Matipa's mother was over there like she was struggling with her husband, but she was not going to stop being on the heels of Joyce, antagonizing her. Joyce like they antagonizing each other, like they in straight warfare with one another, like straight warfare. But Matipa wasn't winning, and neither was Joyce. Because in the meantime and in between time, Joyce got a whole bunch of stuff that's going on downtown at her house with her kids. She also got to keep saving her face. She got to save face, y'all. She can't. She not getting away with nothing, like nothing. And neither is Matipa, because Matipa knows that Jonas has already moved on. Now, mind you, Matipa was supposed to be with the brother. So he's sitting in the cut watching all of this go down. All of this goes going down. So Joyce decides she's going to fight fire with fire and allow Jonas to have a second wife, especially since they got the babies. One of the things that I liked was Minzy. Minzy had been standing in the cut. Now he's still been hanging with his cousin Freedom, who been taking him to clubs and trying to get them together and all of that kind of stuff. And of course, y'all know that he is just head over heels in love with Lindani, right? He's still in head. He still has that little boy crush on her, but he's growing up right now. He's hanging with his cousin Freedom, like I said, who's just trying to, take him to see strippers. Like he's trying to do everything to make Minzy a man because he doesn't like the fact that he's not being a man. But in the meantime and in between time, Joyce makes a decision that she's going to bring Matipa on as a second wife because now that she got the babies. And so what's she going to do? She said, if you can't beat her, join her. So she brings her into the relationship, and it doesn't get any better because every time Matipa get an opportunity, she up in her butt. And when I mean she's in her butt, she is. Then all of a sudden, Matipa, she don't want to be hidden. She doesn't. But she ain't getting what she want to get out of Jonas either. Because this man is just a beast. And then everything seemed like it's going to be okay. She got her twins. She living her best life. But it don't happen that way. Minzy and Ladani starts having a little friendship. They have a relationship that develops, but she's not into him. We see her bartending and working the little jobs and stuff, hanging out with the girls at the house. It's a mess going on. As a matter of fact, Sarah was so jealous of her sister, the one with the short hair, the name I can't pronounce, that she gives has an oral thing going on with her sister's boyfriend and breaks her sister's heart. Now I was like, are they getting this from their daddy? Like, what's going on that everybody's appetite for this family all over the hook? But of course, Sarah is Essie's daughter. And then we go back We go back in time. When I tell y'all that I was like, what is going on? Because the father, Menzie goes to a club because, of course, Freedom want to take him. So he goes up into a club. He's making a phone call going in the back. He happens to go up in one of those private rooms. And guess what he sees? Where's she at? The girl of his dreams that he has tried to kiss. She wasn't interested in him. She tried to do everything. Y'all, he tried everything to get to this girl. But she had her eyes on something bigger because she got pulled into Jonas world. Menzie walks into the back of the strip club. LaDonnie is no longer a waitress. She's a deep, uh, she into blow pops. He walks up and he sees his father getting a job from the girl that he has loved all his life. Now, this is her girlfriend's, his daughter's best friend, and his son's, the love of his life. But she after money. She was in close proximity to money. So instead of going for the son, she went for the daddy. It was amazing that when she slept with the father, she said, I done slept with an old man, now I'm a woman. Let me tell you something, honey. Womanhood ain't got nothing to do with your JJ. It's going to work. Whether it's going to function the way it functions. Just like Jonas stuff functioned the way it functioned. This girl never led Menzie on. Let me get it straight, because she let him know basically she wasn't interested in him because one night he had tried to kiss her. So she basically let him know, I don't want you like that. I'm not interested. But who saw her messing with the daddy? Honey, when I tell you he turned her out, he took her on a trip and turned this young girl out, but she was ready. But she had to remain hidden. She had to remain hidden. But she had already become a part of their family structure. Because she was close to the sister and she was close to Menzie. But then Miss LaDonnie is out on a trip and she finds out she's pregnant. By who? Jonas. Her girlfriend's daddy. I was like, this is so, like, nothing was off limits to him. Like, it was so disgusting to see her with her. Now, I know that they was acting, but it just seemed so real with the thing in her mouth, the gag ball in her mouth, and he turned her out. He gave her a little red piece of lingerie, told her put that on. She came out, honey. She thought she was a woman. Girl, you a little girl. But I guess maybe her innocence was gone, because why was she in the club in the back room with the father? Like, when I tell you that Menzie lost his mind, Menzie Missy got to drinking and like you could see that it hardened him. He was devastated. That is something that ain't gonna never leave him right because he already knew that his father had, extramarital affairs and stuff like that. That had already picked up Matipa and put her on the roll as a second wife. And she was thinking she was gonna have this party for her babies and stuff, and they ended up having a shower at the house. When I tell you a mess, a mess. This was a mess. So she laying up there with him. They're on the trip. He goes into the bed. He's laying on the bed, and the next thing you know, she's having a miscarriage. Now, mind you, Joyce had already came to a reconciliation with the other one by bringing her and the kids and making her a second wife. That wasn't good enough, though, for Matipa, because she still was a thorn in Joyce's side. But Joyce felt like she was in control of stuff, but she wasn't in control of nothing. Matter of fact, it came a part in this daggone thing where she tried to kill him by poisoning. She fixed him a nice little dinner after he was out there in the street acting a whole fool and put some daggone poison in his food, child. He was laying up in the hospital just about dead. She went upstairs with Minzy while the poison took effect, and while he was down there foaming at the mouth, child, and going through just about dead, she was upstairs with Minzy with the music up loud on purpose. But honey, they got him to the hospital. She thought he was gonna die, child. That old bastard. That old bastard did not die. And so now she at the hospital, she got to pay the guy off, right? Because when she started talking to the doctor, they said, well, it seemed like he got poisoned. She was like, oh. Oh, she was like, oh. They was like, yeah, we believe that he got poisoned. It was poison in his system. She knows she did it. So, honey, next thing you know, we see her. She up in the daggone with an envelope, child. She got her little envelope together and put some money up in that daggone thing and paid that doctor off to tell him he had a heart attack. But in the meantime and in between time, let's circle back. Shall we? Oh, yes, we shall. So he decides that he is going to be in a relationship. The little girl has a miscarriage. His wife and the kids have decided that they're going to go out of town. He is out of town with the little girl. She'd have had a miscarriage. So he figures, well, they out of town. I'm going to go ahead and bring you back to the house and take care of you. Now, the girlfriend, the daughter, is friends with her. Keep that in mind. So when she finds out that she was in the hospital and now she's back, that she was in the hospital, she was like, okay, I'm going to go up there. I'm going to stay. So then all three of them decide to stay because they want to be there for her daughter's friend. They get back to the house. Miss Joyce does. And she hear a whole lot of goings on. She goes upstairs. And little Miss little Miss Girlfriend is in the bathtub getting scrubba-dub-dub by her husband. So the whole roof fell off. Menzie trying to fight his father. Like, I thought he was going to throw him off of the balcony. He didn't. This girl had zero respect. I'm talking about none. She didn't have any respect for the family structure. She didn't have any respect for how they brought her in, almost like a sister or a cousin, because her whole goal was to get the money. She didn't want the son. She wanted the daddy. Y'all, when I tell y'all I was swinging, I wanted to come down there. I wanted them to say, call auntie. She'll know what to do. I wanted to whoop her little. She up there sleeping with this man. I mean, when I tell y'all the most was going on, but honey, they did a flashback. They showed a scene with Jonas doing the doggy catcher with Essie. When I tell y'all I almost fainted, I rewind that back because it just was like, I said, I know that's not Essie. I was like, wait a minute, Essie is married to McGish. What in the world is Jonas in the picture? No. What in the world is Jonas doing in a flash screen with Essie? Not Essie from the past. I'm talking about Essie now. I was like, what is going? Hold up. Hold up. Like, I was shaking. I was shaking. Girl. And guys, they did a whole segment on Essie. Now, I thought, I don't know why I didn't tie together that Sarah was somehow Josie's, was Jonah's daughter. I thought maybe Essie, being a mother that she was, took her in for something that Jonas did when he was young. But no, Essie was in a freaking relationship with Jonas. In my opinion, Essie was the first wife, not Joyce. Y'all, they flash back to show Essie and Jonas when they was young. This girl was behind him. This was the love of her freaking life. She had freedom, and then she had Sarah. And she supported him, paid for his education and everything. And he told her, I will buy you a house. I can't remember how Joyce got involved, but Joyce ended up being with Jonas. And if I'm wrong, y'all let me know. But Essie had to be a wife married in the background. So he took care of her all her life. And a brother lied to cover Jonas and took Essie on as a wife, but he never married her. She was Jonas' wife the whole time. And that's why the daughter Sarah and Freedom had little to no respect for their mama. I ain't even bring Freedom up because they knew Freedom ended up at the end cussing Essie out. He cussed his mama out. And she took her little walker stick to hit him. He said, go head on. It don't hurt no more. He flat out told his mother, you been Jonah's little. My sister Sarah is up in the head because the only thing that you was worried about was getting you some paper. As long as you was being caught up, you let McGish not have a wife, nothing. Like McGish laid his, am I saying his name right? McGish laid his life down for his brother. He never had a life because he was single and had to play a married man to Essie and a father to Sarah and Freedom. While Jonah continued to sleep with everybody. She loved this man from the rooter to the freaking tutor. So even though Essie was in the picture, he married Joyce first, which made her in technically the second wife. But this girl was with him before he even knew Joyce. She technically should have been the first wife. They f***ed around and had kids the same age. Two sisters, basically the same age, by the same man. And here it is years later, with all the bullshit that Joyce is going through, with all these other whores, Essie is bent over backwards for him. At that point, all my respect for Essie went out the door. Because I said, Essie, you grimy and dirty for doing that. But Essie said, long as I got a roof over my head and a window for to throw the pot out of, I'm good. Even though Essie decided that she was going to be with somebody else and have another guy, I was like, no, you's nasty. I thought it was disgusting to be in that woman's life and to do that to your child. Like that, I'm not going. That little daughter was trying to get a relationship with her father. He stood her up on a date, like he treated her like she was nothing. He didn't even want her to have a coming out party because she had to be hidden that she was even his. Essie made it seem like she had been doing a favor for a month, and she wasn't. I was very disappointed with Essie because I am not going to, like, her daughter seemed like she got some serious mental issues and need of counselors. But y'all, we almost at the end because now Joyce done found out about lending. Um, 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 she is just screwing the father. She don't care. She lost the baby. And then the next thing you know, they all find out one at a time. Matipa and Joyce, that they got gonorrhea. And the reason why they found out is because Matipa came up and approached it and said, are you the little bitch that gave me gonorrhea? And Joyce was tied and done and through, and the whole bottom fell out. because she had to go to the doctor and take pills too. And she said if he gonna live by the D, he gonna die by the D. Do y'all hear me? Y'all remember that Joyce spent some time in jail? I saw Jonas down at the office, and somebody knocked on his office door. Nice young lady. When I tell y'all, I think I blacked out for like 15 seconds. I'm talking about I blacked out. I'm talking about I don't think I had no vision. I couldn't hear nothing. I couldn't see nothing. I couldn't think nothing. I blacked out. There was a rap tap tap on the door. Girlfriend comes to the door. She's looking for Matipa. And I said, bitch, I know. That's the girl from the jail. She was dolled up. But I was like, Lord have mercy. That is the girl from the jail. I said, oh, Joyce gonna make him die by the D. She said he wanna live by the D. He gonna die by that same D. The girl came to, oh my God, I'm shaking. The girl came to the door and was like, is Matipa here? I'm her friend. I was looking for her, and he was like, no, she's not here. And all he could think about was getting the satisfaction. Let me tell y'all what this mofo did. We're going to come back. But when that girl, Matipa, ended up having her babies, and she was in that house with her mama, and her mama ain't want her to be with him at all. He came to visit her baby, she thought, but he came to visit her. This girl was minutes out of the hospital. He was trying to stick the D in her, and she was like, no. I had a C-section. I can't do anything with you. He said that mouth work. She had just had her babies. She like 2 days postpartum. Maybe a day. Her mama in the other room. She got twin girls. She got twin girls. And this mofo got her going down on her knees with her mama in the background and two crying babies. When I tell you, so we look and we see the girlfriend come down there pretending to go and see Matipa. And what does he do? He sleeps with the jailmate, with Joyce's jailmate or cellmate. And we know she got HIV. So now everybody that sleeps with him after this could get HIV. Now, I don't know if the girl stopped paying for stop taking the pills, because there are pills that you could take that undetectable. I don't know what she did. But honey, we saw Joyce gave her a nice little envelope too. We don't know that yet though, but I'm telling y'all, there was something that happened and I can't remember where he went and beat the stew beans out of Joyce and Matipa. And I mean, when I say the stew beans, he beat the out of them. He beat Matipa so bad that so Matipa had came over and was like, okay, I gotta leave him. Both of them got beat. Y'all, I can't remember what the incident was that caused him to go off on both of them. And he got into the incident with Joyce first. And then he went over to Matipa and beat Matipa. He had her eye all busted. But the worst part of it is he took his belt buckle and savagely beat her in her back. It looked like it was so many lashes going in different ways. It looked like plaid, like somebody was trying to tattoo plaid in her. Her and Joyce came up on each other and was having a conversation. Joyce took her glasses off and her eye was just completely black. And she showed to unbutton her shirt and showed scarring all on her chest, which made Matipa take her glasses off. And her face was worse than Joyce's. And she had to scratch. And she told her, I need to leave. I can't take it. Can you watch the babies for me? Now here she is, that slept with this woman's husband, then antagonized her, treated her like shit. And the moment you get your ass whooped, you gonna come over here and drop two babies on Joyce and her family. And I want to say touche. I want to say that's what you get. I want to say you die by the cheating and being a mistress. You live by the being a mistress. You die as a like. I wanted to say a whole lot. Was a whole lot of stuff I wanted to say about her. Because you made Joyce's life miserable. But when you needed somebody, who you go to? Joyce. You got Joyce raising your babies. But Joyce was. Wait a minute, what? What I forget to tell T Mac? T Mac, so you didn't tell why she left, why she wasn't at the house when the girl came through. Why who left? Why who left? I'm looking, baby. Why who left? Because I'm telling the whole story, so I know I'm leaving some out. Y'all bear with me. Help me out, boo. Help me out. Why who left? I was devastated. Oh, you saying I didn't tell why Matipa left? Yeah, she took money out of the account because she was leaving. She was leaving him. Joyce questioned him and he went off. True. Thank you, boo. The bank knew she wasn't supposed to have the money, but she manipulated them. But you don't leave your babies. Come hell or high water, you don't leave your babies. At least that's how I grew up. When I went through my situation, my DV situation, that was very short. The last thing I ever thought about was leaving my baby. no matter what. If we had to be out on a street corner, we'd have been here together. Whatever I was going to go through, my baby was going through that with me. Luckily, it was at an age where she didn't really know what was going on. But the last thing I thought about was getting rid of my baby. But she left them twins and got up out of Dodge. But what she did not know that Joyce had already had a plan. And it was just so nasty how they were still sleeping with him, except for Joyce. Because y'all noticed Joyce wouldn't sleep with him no more because she had already knew what she had done. So the next thing you know, child, he got HIV. But he was so arrogant and pompous and ignorant that he would not take his medicine. And guess who was still sleeping with him while he had HIV? Lindani. She was still sleeping with him. Joyce Watton. Matipa wasn't. To my knowledge, Essie wasn't. But old Miss Little Young Girl turned the dog, got her little condo, tricked him into giving her a home, was still sleeping with him. Because she was the one who was calling herself taking care of him and dropped him off at Joyce's house. She was the one that had him down in a daggone shower, stand-up shower, because he had boo-booed on himself and didn't want to take care of him anymore. Because Joyce had told him that she would take care of him, but Joyce didn't. Oh, little young hot-ass little girl did. Essie running back and forth to Joyce's house with soup that she wants Joyce to give to him. This is still nasty because when he put his hands on the Tipa and on Joyce was when he had gotten out of the hospital and they had said that he lied and said he had a heart attack. He didn't even care. He beat them women like they were. It was disgusting, y'all. After a while, Joyce had him shink, he had nothing else about him. But we saw Menzie getting close to his dad. Menzie was bringing a bong. He was having drinks with his father. He was just doing the most. He was there for his father and he was there for those twins. Joyce, Matipa, and Essie gradually realized that they were all manipulated in the relationship. And some of their hostility towards each other started going to him. They was trying to understand each other. It was, like I said, it was good to see Menzie with his dad. And then we saw his dad basically tell him, I left everything to you, son. Now, mind you, y'all, they didn't have a good relationship. They were about to fight on the balcony. He was ready to kill his son. I never forget the episode, the episode where Joyce was so sick of him cheating that she had went to go and get a firearm. She had went to go and get a firearm because she had made up in her mind that she was going to take care of business with his. He got to the house. This man was so narcissistic and arrogant that when he saw her with the firearm, that she dropped on the floor from not being skilled and understanding that you put both of your hands on that, that she dropped it on the floor. And instead of him realizing that she was about to off his ass, he said she was trying to unalive herself. This is how arrogant and narcissistic Jonas was. He couldn't even see. He thought that the world just, and it did for a while, that the sun rose, shined, and set because of him. That he didn't even realize he was walking into danger because there was no way she would have the audacity to even consider getting rid of him. And I think that that was another time when Joyce realized this is a no-win battle. He told Joyce, the only way that you and I will be separated is by death. So Menzie is sitting with his father. His dad gave him everything. Little Miss Girlfriend got her little place. Used the sisters to get the money and get the place. How long is that going to last for her ass? But she thinks she won. She thinks she's set for life. And now he dying. He coughing, starving, because he too arrogant to go and take his medicine. That could have given him a much longer life. People are not surviving with HIV now. They're living. People are living with it. It's not a death sentence like it used to be. Unless you choose to be like Jonas and don't take anything. But anyway, I digress. Jonas is on his last leg. Don't nobody want to take care of him at all. Joyce is laying in the bed with him on his motherfucking deathbed. And she tells him, basically, you said the only thing that will separate us is death. So I made sure you died. She told him that Menzie had been playing a game with him. That he kissed up to him and played the game so that he can give him everything. And he did. She got his. I can't remember if it's a figment of my mind or not, but she basically told him she had a girlfriend, her HIV girlfriend, to go to So Jonas dies. Miss Essie is pissed. Miss Essie comes down to the house. And she want to be at the funeral. She want Jonas. And she's like, you ain't getting him. Girlfriend done went down to the morgue and had a whole funeral for service for him and was about to put him in the ground. Like they had the people at the cemetery getting ready to put him in the ground. And Joyce showed up and had them snatch him up out that ground and held her own funeral. So they have a funeral. But before Joyce left Essie, she told her, if you show up at the funeral, I'm going to have you locked up. Did Essie show up at the funeral? You damn right she did. Her and Sarah. And when a woman put the purse down on the seat, Essie went to the back, honey, and got her own chair. Everybody got her own chair and slid up in it. Her and her daughter. And Joyce chose not to make a scene, to go ahead on and let Essie be there. Matter of fact, I meant to tell y'all that Matipa ended up coming back. She walked up on her daughter. I think she was gone like, what, y'all, 4 or 5 years? Her daughters didn't even recognize her. She asked them to come over and give Mama a hug. They was like, who's she talking to? She ain't talking to me. She talking to you. No, she ain't talking to me, honey. She talking to you. She left her kids for years. And then came back and thought that reunification was going to be a thing. They had been with Joyce and Menzie. And she's sitting up there looking stupid. And Joyce went on and had the funeral for him. She told him he was a dumb mother. I even remember in this when he fired McGeish, his brother. And McGeish was like, I feel free. I always been a fixer. Running behind him. And his brother fired him when he faked as if he was Essie's husband for years. Neglected him having his own family and his own life for Jonas. I don't know what that was about, why he was that loyal to him, but he was. And I'm telling y'all right now, I felt so sad for him. But it was a good thing that he wasn't with Matipa, because all she was looking for was money and a ride. And when she got hard, she left, to the extent that she left her own babies. I ain't got no respect for that. I don't have no respect for that, because times get hard. But you don't leave your babies. Didn't even tell him she was coming back. She just left. When you played a part in the damn confusion. At the end of the funeral, Menzie, who the mother said would never be like his father, is just like his father. He took an opportunity to sleep with who? Lindani, who I believe is HIV infected. Because remember, she was still sleeping with Jonas when he was diagnosed. That's how she got that little apartment and all of that. The house. She thought she was the bee's naive. She was still taking care of him when he had HIV. Did she ever get tested? Was she positive or not? But the sad part about it is that Menzie turned out to be exactly who his father was. Just a more methodical version of his father. He was methodical enough with his mother to convince his father that he loved him. And he took everything. And his mama made sure he did. But he went back to Ladani, who was ignorant with his sister and everybody else in his life. And he slept with her, had sex with her at his father's funeral. It lets you see just how dirty and grimy the love of money, not money, the love of money will do to people. It also showed in this, to me, in my opinion, family dynamics. And when they stop, how it affects a generation and then another generation. This movie was, this series was very well done. Very well done. Let me drop, I don't have my moderator, so I'm going to have to really be watching. Let me drop, just in case y'all want to come up and briefly speak your speech on this. I'm going to um, open up the chat so that y'all can come up and give your speech. You can give me what you thought about this. Let me read y'all questions in the meantime. Crying Tiger 99 said, "Oh no, but if Minzy dies, would Sarah be the next oldest or the other sis?" Exactly. Thank you so much, Boo. Oh, Ray Della is here. Okay. Her name is Input or something like that. Let's see what y'all saying. Okay, you said that he was loyal because he took them out the hood. Then she want to say she chose the wrong brother. You right about that, Ties Ways. 2026 equals YouTube channel of the year. Auntie is her. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You're so welcome. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Nobody is coming up. And so I'm going to hop on off of here, but y'all let me know what y'all thought about The Polygamist. I'm going to tell you right now, I wasn't ready for it. I do thank the young lady again. Let me make sure I get her Instagram again, her Instagram name again. Hold on, y'all. Mystic Phoenix. Thank you so much for recommending that I look at this. It was fantastic. It definitely had the little cliffhangers. It had me, in the grips. It really did. I thought that all of the actors were superb. All of them. They were absolutely believable. They were believable. You believe this story. Like you got into it. And I'm going to tell you right now, I got into it so much, I just wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready for what I got into, but I handled it like a champ. So, y'all, that is my review. Thank y'all again so much for being here. If you like what you see here, go ahead on and hit that subscribe button and turn your notification bells on so that every time I go live, you go live with me. I love and appreciate y'all. And until we meet again, y'all be safe out there in the streets and in the water. Bye, y'all.